Welcome back to Attic to Basement Estate Cleanouts with Raccoons, where I give tips about estate cleanouts and my thoughts on memorable jobs I've done over the 15 years I worked in Washington, D.C. metro area, cleaning out over 800 homes. The first house I was thinking about today was a 2,800 square foot home in Chevy Chase, Maryland, built in 1950. The man had been an economist with the government and had been born in 1914 and died in 2008. The house was worth $787,000 then and is now taxed at $935,000. On this house, I did a lot of referring to companies that would come in and buy items out of the house. I only spent 6 hours at the house because the realtor met with all the people I contacted. A secondhand bookstore came in and bought all 5,000 books in the house for $5,000. They packed them up and took them back to their store where they went through them and sent to charity any they didn't think they could sell. There were also a lot of LPs, classical and jazz mostly. Two different buyers from two stores came in to buy the LPs. I had never heard of the Red Onion record store in Northwest D.C. until then, and they bought all the jazz records. And last but not least was the wine collection. Schneider's liquor store of Capitol Hill came in and bought what they could resell. There were hundreds of bottles. One thing I learned I should do and haphazardly enforced was charging for an initial assessment. I would sometimes charge an hour's time to come in and walk through the house with the executor if the executor was not an attorney. Because the hourly fee worried some family members on our initial phone talk, I would tell them if they did hire me, I would credit them the assessment fee. When I started in 2000, not many people knew about my company and how an estate cleanout company could help them. So to get over that reluctance, I would offer a free assessment, and I never charged travel time unless it was to Virginia. Virginia was always over an hour drive away on the trip back to Maryland at the end of the day. Now I believe more people know what you mean when you say you do estate cleanouts, at least in the Washington, D.C. area, because of me and the connections I made. Today I would unilaterally charge for the assessment because of the time involved can be a minimum of 2.5 hours from the time you leave your office until the time you get back to your office. In a few seconds you'll see some photos of the 5,000 books, LPs, and wine, along with a cute piece of art of a Native American baby, a mangle, if you don't know what that is, look it up, and a homemade tile lamp, and heavy wrought iron furniture. The wrought iron furniture sold summer and winter at auction, as it's very expensive brand new, and people buy it and repaint it if it needs it, because it usually sold secondhand for 1/4 of the price of new outdoor furniture. The next house was a 3-bedroom villa at Leisure World in Silver Spring, Maryland. Their neighborhoods are called mutuals, and they have homeowner associations for each of them. It was first developed in 1969 on 650 acres of land for owners 55 and up, with its own golf course, pharmacy, and post office. The last condo building went up in 2009. 3 helpers and I spent 43 hours cleaning out this one, even though it was only 1,100 square feet of living space. It was worth $168,000 in 1994 when the owner bought it, and it's worth $250,000 now. As you can see from the photos, they collected a lot of unusual antiques like carved ebony fish, a small pot-bellied stove, an old iron and wood school desk, and lots of things that hung on the wall, plus a crank telephone. Next was a house in Silver Spring, Maryland that was referred to me by a professional organizer. The house had been built in 1951 and the couple had lived there 50 years. The wife had died 12 years earlier. There were model trains with tracks, and we found boxes of small houses to decorate the train layout. We found a speaking trumpet. There was also a 1986 Dodge van. You'll see a photo of a drop-leaf table that was in the house. Drop-leaf tables always sell because people can fit them into their home, no matter how small or large the home is. I, along with 3 helpers, worked 54 hours in this house. College Hunks Hauling Junk filled 4 trucks with trash from this house. College Hunks Hauling Junk is a national franchise. I met one of the owners at a monthly networking event called G.R.O.W.S, where everyone there works with seniors or for seniors. G.R.O.W.S meetings still take place in Silver Spring. This house appreciated quite a lot in price. In 2008, it was valued at $200,000, and now it's valued at $371,000. The final house is in Kensington, Maryland. It was built in 1935, and an elderly man lived there all by himself. He was pretty neat, but the 1,400 square foot 2-story home had packed closets and cupboards. There were lots of nice oil paintings. Was the one of the woman a relative? I'll never know. His niece and neighbor were getting some things through the will. I was told to keep the clown paintings, wrought iron furniture, told you it was popular, and a ship painting for them. Associated Auctioneers in Howard County sold many of my clients' cars. This 1996 black Chrysler Cirrus LX had 20,000 miles on it in 2009, and it went to auction. My 3 helpers and I worked 27 hours on this house, packing up charity items. We also packed the rest for auction, and Associated Auctioneers came to the house to pick up the furniture, car, and boxes. We always wrote up a list of what went to charity. TurboTax has a computer program called It's Deductible, and you can enter a name and charity and input items under the various categories like kitchen, linens, and clothing. TurboTax adjusts the dollar amounts for each item once a year to stay current. It's a great program, just a little clunky to use, but better than doing all the research yourself. The It's Deductible list was printed out with the total dollar amount of the items donated and given to the executor at the end of the job. I had several attorneys thank me for doing this. Sometimes if the estate didn't need a tax write-off, the relatives would use it for their own taxes if they were the beneficiaries of the contents of the house. Thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you like what you saw. I work to put a new episode on YouTube every 5 to 7 days. I also have a Facebook page called 800 Houses, 800 Jobs. Bye.